Strength is important for good health, and that is because on a daily basis we're required to continually use our muscles to exert force to overcome resistance. Now this is the actual definition of strength. Now what's important about strength is that we find and engage in activities that improve our strength. Historically people have used weight training, but recently we've learnt that there's other methods of training that increase your strength. Interestingly, the researchers from the University of Copenhagen wanted to understand what sort of benefits you would get from punch training. And they followed a group for 20 weeks, punching a heavy bag. So doing a variety of different punching drills or activities on a heavy bag. And they were surprised when at the end of that study they found that the participants gained an improvement in strength of up to 17% in an upper body strength test that was completely unrelated to punching. So that led the researchers to ask the question, well, how did this happen? Well, what was the mechanism behind this improvement in strength? So when they went through the study and looked at the actions that the participants performed, that is the punching of the heavy bag, they determined that the participants were working at an equivalent load to about 60% of 1 RM. And what that means is that these participants were punching at a level of force that if you were to have 100 kilos on the bar and you could only lift it once, took 20 kilos off each side, so you're left with 60 kilos. They were punching at an equivalent to 60% of a maximum effort. And we know from other research that 60% is a high enough load to stimulate changes in strength and muscle growth. Firstly, the researchers, by their own admission, were surprised because historically weight training is the gold standard method for increasing strength. However, in this study, the participants didn't lift weights at all. So it's unusual to see such a high increase. 17% is quite a large increase in strength without even having to touch a weight. And when we think about the action of punching, punching contains two very important elements to the improvement of strength, which is essentially force. That is, it contains acceleration, so you have to accelerate your arm to a target. And the second thing you have to do, particularly when you punch a heavier object like a heavy bag, is you have to contract your muscles quite vigorously. So by virtue of these two facts, the need to accelerate your arm and the need to contract your muscles on impact, you can actually see that punching, striking in general, contains all the generic elements required to improve strength. So on the question of body composition, which is basically burning fat and building muscle, which are two very important objectives, the question arises, can I achieve these things using boxing or kickboxing? And the short answer is yes, you can. Simply because boxing and kickboxing is intermittent, and it usually involves high intensity effort with periods of rest or low intensity effort. And what we know from a good body of research is that this method of exercise, it's known as high intensity interval training, is a key component of boxing and kickboxing. From the basis of these studies, we've learnt that not only is high intensity interval training effective for weight loss or fat loss, but it also has a nice side effect of it builds muscle. And if you're looking for an exercise regime which has a component of HIIT, high intensity interval training, for the benefit of fat loss and muscle gain, you can be confident that if you stick to this type of exercise for at least 12 weeks, you're likely to see improvements in body fat and changes in lean muscle. So not only is high intensity interval training beneficial for acute or immediate effects on fat burning, but it has the added benefit of the afterburn effect. In science we call this EPOC, excess post-oxygen consumption. So after you engage in a high intensity interval workout, particularly a workout that uses large muscle groups like kickboxing and boxing, your body is burning energy for a period of time after the workout. And that's because it's trying to pay back the debt that it created in that workout. So what that means is you're burning more calories at rest simply because your body's in catch-up mode. Now this, over a period of time, can assist you lose body fat simply because you're burning more energy during everyday life activities. For these participants who are looking for a cross-training modality that can actually maintain their strength while reducing the loads on their body, boxing and kickboxing provides the ideal chance to deload the joints, deload the muscles, but at the same time activate those muscles at a sufficiently high level to maintain strength in both the upper and lower limbs, particularly if you're involved in kickboxing. So what these athletes might experience the benefit of participating in boxing is that cross-training effect that avoids detraining.